Sir?
Yeah, I think you are able to hear me.
Yeah. Yes, sir, I can, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Okay, Madhav Perumal, you
Good
can start.
morning to all.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to all. If four things are followed, having a great aim, acquiring knowledge, hard work, and perseverance, then anything can be achieved. With this famous quote by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, I gladly welcome the keynote speaker, participants, and my fellow colleagues for taking a keen part in this technical webinar on the topic the transformation needed from a 2G civil engineer to 5G civil engineer, organized by the Department of Civil Engineering, Rajalakshmi Engineering College, in association with Indian Concrete Institute and Institution Innovation Council. Now, I invite
Madhav Perumal, it is so much, there's so much of disturbance. Can you just check it and read it out? Can you wait, sort the issue and do it?
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Unmute the other participants. Mute the other participants. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but it is noisy.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you can proceed now. Yeah, you can proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Today's webinar topic is the transformation needed from a 2G civil engineer to 5G civil engineer, organized by the Department of Civil Engineering, Rajalakshmi Engineering College, in association with Indian Concrete Institute and Institution Innovation Council. Now, I invite Dr. Rose Kennedy Teresa, ma'am, HOD Civil, to honor our speaker.
A very good morning to all of you present here. I just invite our Dean Mechanical, Dr. Thanikachalam, for being with us, and it's a great pleasure, sir, to have you with us, Dr. D. Tensing. I'm very glad to have our professor and my mentor, Dr. D. Tensing from Karunya Institute of Technology, amidst us to present us a very interesting trending topic. Sir, it's a nostalgic feeling for me having you with us today after 24 years since I passed out KIT. Even now, I could remember the good old days at KIT. In particular, as a student, in particular, our RCC and steel classes, where you enter in the class, walk into the room with the most glorious smile on your face and filling the board with your decorative handwriting, sir. I still remember your handwriting. Sir was not only my mentor but a great inspiration, and I really wanted to become a teacher like him. I wonder if I've attained anything closer to him, but I'm very proud that Sir is with me today, accepting my invitation for this webinar at my place of work, sir. It's a great honor, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now, let me call upon Madhav Perumal for giving a formal introduction.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. With great pleasure, I would like to introduce today's keynote speaker, Dr. D. Tensing, working as Professor in Civil Engineering and Director of Quality Assurance and Accreditation, Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Coimbatore. He has completed his doctorate in civil engineering in the year 2003 from PSC College, Bharathiar University. He completed his master's in structural engineering in the year 1993 from PSC College, Bharathiar University. He completed bachelor's degree in civil engineering in the year 1987 from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai Kamaraj University. Dr. Tensing has immense experience of 53 years in academics. This includes working in various institutions and holding many positions such as Professor, Director of Civil Engineering, Head of IQAC, and Director of Quality Assurance and Accreditation. His research experience are as follows. He worked as co-investigator for the AHP project under MODROP on the title Studies on Glass Fiber Reinforced Steel Beams with Web Openings, with a fund of rupees 2 lakhs during the year 1994 to 1996 in the Civil Engineering Department at Karunya Institute of Technology. Under the same scheme, he designed and erected a steel truss loading frame of capacity 50 tons. He has worked as a co-investigator for a DST-TSDB project on smart magnetoreological damping. seismic resistant buildings, tune of 2.57 crores during the academic year 2016-17 to 2019-20. He has guided 6 PhD scholars who have completed their degrees, and 8 other candidates are currently working under his guidance. He has published 33 papers in the international and national journals. He has published 46 papers in national conferences and 4 papers in international conferences. He has published books on the topic Design of Steel Structures, Limited Design, Design of Steel Structure for Diploma Students, Basic Civil Engineering. Now I request our speaker, Dr. D. Tenzin sir, to take over the session. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Can I proceed with the presentation, Dr. Rosie?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll just share my screen.
Yes, sir.
You are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to every one of you. Thank you for inviting me to talk on the topic, the transformation of civil engineers from 2G to 5G. I would like to thank the management of the Rajalakshmi College of Engineering for giving me this opportunity, and I also greet all the heads of the department, the faculty of the department, as well as the other department faculty and the deans who are available here. Thank you for joining us in this session. And one of my favorite and wonderful student is Dr. Rosie, one very, very good student. When we go into a classroom, we are attracted by a good number of students, and we are distracted by a small number of students. So that's what in real life. So attraction and distraction both are possible in a class for a civil engineering or for any teacher. So I also had the same experience. So in this class, there are very few people who are in the top list, and a considerable number in the middle level, and a few of them are in the different level. So here, whenever teaching Dr. Rosie, when he was Rosie, Rosinate Teresa, then that time it was very interesting. So with the same relationship, I think I'm back here telling you something different now. Okay, I was a conventional teacher, chalk and talk, and no talk and walk. But that was the way of my teaching once, chalk and talk. I used to use as she told, I used to use the scale to draw the diagram on the board with the different colors of chalk piece. So to see that people learn. So that's how I used to teach. Now, I understood one thing, that I need to transform. I need to get transformed into a next level of civil engineering teacher. So again, then the topic came. Then in my mind, the one sentence always kept on coming. We were single G or 2G people. How we are going to cater to 4G? Though I mean, sometime back it was 4G. So 4G and 5G plus 6G it goes on. How we are going to deal them? So I can't deal single G with my single G way of life with the 6G or 7G or whatever is going to come in the future. So first I need to get transformed. So as a teacher, I need to get transformed into a 5G teacher or a 6G, adapting to 5G or 6G people. In the same way, now one thing what we have found in the world is, I hope you are all knowing that you are in 5G, but how do we effectively transform ourselves to the 5G type of learning and 5G type of practicing? So that's the type of life which is expected to be thought over. And here I would like to make some of my ideas, some of my the experience, some of the ideas which I have got from our alumni who are in the construction industry. So I'll just go to the presentation. Is it fine? You are able to see clearly? Dr. Rosie?
Yes, sir. I can see.
Yeah. Then I'll go ahead. Right. So the title is uniform. It's a mountainous area. So chain surveying was very difficult, and then almost even plane table was very difficult, and student had to face a lot of difficulties in doing the surveying. So this is 2G. We were teaching this, and I think even now some of the places the students are being taught using this. Now, what is required? What is really required? Required is only this. Only this. So that is what is we need to understand what is that which is very much required for us. There is no need for knowing this now. I think teachers should not get angry. Civil engineering faculty should not get angry with me. So I in my experience, along with my alumni in India as well as in abroad, overseas, I found that this is not required. So the students need not learn this. We may say fundamental learning is required. There is no need. If they know this, that is fine for them. Okay, so this is one of the critical change which I say it has to be done. See, I have seen some of the students, those who are very close with us while teaching this in the class. When total stations are being taught to the students, one or two students showed much interest and helped the faculty, very closely. Then after some time, we found at least one or two. They have purchased a total station and they started a small company, a surveying company. So they are now earning money like anything, and they are very, very busy. But they know only total station. They said there is no need to know anything else, sir. Total station is fine. So here, what is expected in the field? Next day when you leave from your BTech degree or BE degree, the next day, can you take up a project? Probably everybody is talking about it, but I'm talking a little more seriously here. So are we ready? The next day, taking up a project, taking a project and doing it. So if students are again having a hesitation, there is something wrong with our education or something wrong with your learning. So people are willing to teach, but the way how you are, willing to listen or take it up seriously is a big problem, right? So this is what you need to understand. Again, aerial surveying using drone. Now people are really seriously doing it. Some of the, places, some of the colleges are doing consultancy also, even using the, that aerial surveying using drone. I don't know about what is happening there. I didn't discuss with Dr. Rossi, but probably I think you can think over. Then you can see here, this is the old type of blueprint. So earlier we used to draw. We used to suffer like anything by drawing the entire plan, elevation and section in a drawing sheet, and then tracing it in a tracing sheet, and then making ammonia print. What you see is an ammonia print, a blueprint. So here that is done like this. So drawing on an ordinary paper, ordinary drawing sheet, and then transferring that to a tracing paper, and from tracing paper it will be transferred to ammonia printing. That was the process. Now it is not at all there. You can see what is 5G here. So here people are able to understand where the bed can be kept, where the pool can be kept, and every wardrobe can be kept. Everything is shown. People are able to walk through and find out what is required for their building or required for their residence. So that is the situation. So here, the few of buildings drawing software, Reno 3D, and then Rivet Architecture, SketchUp, V-Ray, AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, something more, a lot of more softwares are there. So what people expect when we send the students, AutoCAD also is not sufficient now. So when civil engineers leave the course and go, they immediately ask, in which way you are outstanding. Can you say in which way you are outstanding? So if we are outstanding, we get into something, but they really test us. It is not easy. They test us and find that we are good or not. Okay, if we are not there, then we have to stand outside only. We have to stand in. We have to become outstanding graduate, outside standing graduate, right? Okay, so here now one of the important thing which I want to talk to you here is the application of robotics in civil engineering. Now this is the need, and what I want to stress here is the knowledge of civil engineers in robotics and automation. So civil engineers have to learn the subject robotics and automation. How you learn, you know better, because there's so many online portals are there. NPTEL is there, so we can definitely join and see that you are good in robotics. So this is why I am telling this. When you learn robotics and automation for civil engineering, the companies which are making civil engineering products, they very much require you. It is, they can very well utilize a robotics engineer, but the companies are preferring robotics engineer from civil engineering background. That is challenging. And here again, I think I want you to understand in which way, because they want them to know both civil engineering as well as the robotics. Otherwise, you should have an interaction and you have a discussion, and the robotics man will dictate them. And this is what I want. All these interactions are there, like civil engineering and architects. So always there is a conflict between structural engineering engineers and architects. The same thing happens there in that also. But now what is required? What people are expecting? A civil engineer with the knowledge of robotics. Maybe free electives or whatever possibilities are there, we can learn it. So here I'm just going to present you some of the the robotic operated process in civil engineering. Then the second part, first is robotics. The second one is digital image processing in civil engineering. Application of digital image processing in civil engineering. What I am at present, I am involved in this research. Using image processing in civil engineering. I am doing it, and one student is doing PhD. We have done 2 projects in MTech, and this is what we are doing here, using scanning technology, laser scanning technology. So that's what we are now doing it here. Then again another dampers, because now the problems in the world are unexpected and unwarranted. So here you can see dampers for structures, yet seismic resistance, any accident proof. So here dampers are required. Again, in the dampers there are some problems here in getting the fluid. Damping fluid is very costly. So we have done some research here in the campus, that DST project we have got for 2.57 crores to study the dampers, the application of dampers. We have made a smart rheological damper at a very lower cost, probably 10,000 rupees. It will come to 10,000 rupees. We are yet to release it, but the patent has already been filed. So we will be shortly commercializing that. So the liquid also, if you look at the liquid, the damping liquid is very costly. So what we have done, we have taken, with the chemistry knowledge, we have taken a liquid from a industrial waste, chemical industry waste in 2-to-green, and we have worked on that liquid, which is the waste is 70 rupees per liter. So we are able to make a new damping fluid. And again, one of our chemistry faculty and civil faculty, they have now applied for patent. So patenting is in process. Then the next thing what is required is cost-effective solutions for water purifiers. So these are all the new, in the sense, not effectively not reached. We have thought about over a long time, even the water purifiers, but how effectively have done. We are still depending on Kent and Aqua, for our water purification. But cost-effective solutions are there, with the natural plants, and this is research in many of the environmental engineers are involved. And here again, we are working on that also. Okay, then coming to the robotics. I think surveying is done with the help of drones for aerial mapping and surveying in construction site, right? You can see here, SkyCatch is one of the equipment which you are seeing here. This is how it is done. So it is accurately, we will be able to do it. So this is again a knowledge of a student graduate at the time of leaving with the knowledge of drone surveying. I want all the 4th years to think over, and probably this is what is expected. Any company or anywhere, it's a now real competition prevailing outside. But if you say that I can do it, no time I will be able to do it. That if that confidence is you are able to tell, then automatically you are a very effective engineer required for the industry. So SkyCatch. Then in the same way, Now you must know what are the paving technology. Again, even in the paving technology, robots are being used, and you can see here how automatically it is being done. Again, how to do this? It is not only making a road. I want you to understand how the the technology is used here. What is the concept of it? How they made it, and what is that background? Also, we must be thorough. We cannot simply say, I know this equipment, I can use this equipment. It is not only, it's not like using a fridge. Fridges are made by somebody, but I can use the refrigerator for my use. It is not like that. Now, from zero, how to understand that, this works, what is the system, how it does, all these things with the basic knowledge, from the basic knowledge to the, deeper knowledge, civil engineers are required to have. Now, interdisciplinary learning. I hope much is talked about by experts already. But here again, I'm stressing here because that is what is required. So when I talk to some of the alumni overseas, one of the alumni is one of the biggest company owner in UAE. He's based in Ajman, Sharjah, and he was telling, sir, when I call for interview, there are civil engineers coming and telling that they are good in that. But someone comes to me telling that, sir, I am good in automation, or I am good in this and extra. Apart from civil engineering, I am good in this. I just give a test. That's all, a small test of 5 to 10 minutes, and immediately I employ him. So again, I have not used him because he's an intelligent student. I have not employed him because he is a very good student, but I employed him because of his extra ability, extra knowledge. Because in profession, everywhere when we get some contracts, we want to take new challenges. They won't take conventional building alone. We want to take any project, whatever government announces, mechanical engineering problem, I compete. So that's what he said. So in that, when you go for interview, they are expecting 5G engineers like this, people ready with any knowledge. So it is better to have, he's telling that it is, sir, instead of having a civil engineer alone, it is better to have an engineer who knows the other concept also. That's how it is being, that's why I'm talking this to all civil engineers. Now, concrete finishing, probably you would have seen that how concrete, there is no man need. Again, another thing, very recently we had a meeting with the alumni. In that meeting also, they were telling about that one. Man, after some time, cannot work together. The way of how we proceed, the man cannot work. So we need only, instead of having 10 people, we need 2 people to operate this. 1 or 2 people to see that it is done. So without the use of man, things are going to happen. So again, joining together or living together is also a problem now. I hope you understand that. So here, that is how the life is going to change. That is how the world is going to change. It will be really problem to live nearer to each other because of fear of death. Again, this is not the one disease which has come. It is going to be followed by so many. But again, it's going to be a challenge because all our food habits changed. All our lifestyle changed. So accordingly, the resisting power, everything will go down, and definitely we need to go for automation. And what will happen to employment? That is going to be the order of the day. People have to find their way of living, different way. So it's not the conventional way. Conventional way is going to be gone totally in a matter of another few years. So you have to go from tradition, you have to move to the next generation. You have to next lifestyle. So there, it is inevitable. So here you can see how the robot is making a brick laying. Then you can see how the construction, you can see the entire thing is made with the help of robotics. So automatically program it, give the plan, automatically give instruction, it will automatically, this will be done. So this is how it is going to be. There is no need for human being. Apart from that, what is precast concrete. So precast blocks, even bathrooms and bedrooms are being carried, done in a factory and carried and placed in position in Abu Dhabi. I have seen in Abu Dhabi, probably in India also it is happening, but multi-story building, G+2 building, they are doing it with the help of crane. In a matter of 3 days, the building is ready, the house is ready, or in a matter of 3 months, a big a hall is ready, a mall is ready. So it is done like that with the help of this automated system. So here, this is a bricklaying, which is changing the future of construction. Then you can see drilling. So the robot provides accurate, effective drilling in concrete ceilings, and because when you program it, it does it effectively, and it recognizes also the places, and then it drills it. But human errors are there always. So again, now perfection is there in drilling. So you can see here how robots are involved in drilling. Then mass tiling. So tiling is done. So automatically it is done by the robot. So here you can see robotic production of tiling work allows for the extension of tiles with unprecedented detail. Okay, so there are there are difficulties in human laying, but you can see now it is being replaced. Human beings are not required. We need not wait for human being. Sometimes the labor say we cannot come, labor strike. There is no need to wait. So the work will go on. But your knowledge is very much required. You must learn it, and you must find the possibility of going for an internship in such a companies, and ensure that you learn it. Then demolition. This is one of the thing normally in India you don't find much of it. If you go to Dubai, any building is going to expected to live only for 25 years. So at the end of 25 years, the government will send they will give a notice earlier that the building has to be removed. So they have to demolish it and they have to rebuild it again. So that's why civil engineering survives in Dubai. So here, I went to Dubai and I met one of the students who was our second batch student, and that guy is doing only demolition work. When I met him, he told, "Sir, I am doing only demolition engineer. So what I am doing, then he took me to the site. He took me to his site and shown that one. So when the work it's a multi-storied building, and the nearby, not even a single scrap should fall on the floor, on the road. There are so many cars. He was demolishing a structure, and in the side, so many cars were parked, and neighboring buildings, hotels were there. And I told, there will be much difficulty, in doing it. I asked, and he said, "Sir, that is a rule. I should not let even a single, the engineer has to be effective in such a way that not even a single stone will fall." They put mesh. They put a mesh, and whatever the debris falls, it falls within that. But still, even the dust should not go. That maximum level, the dust should not go. So he said, how we have to demolish. So it has to be put inside. So the machines are doing it. I saw one JCP in the 10th floor, the terrace, almost terrace. So it was there. They took it to that level, and then it was doing it. And the way it was doing it, it was just removing the concrete, removing the wall and putting inside in the center. They removed the center core and it was putting inside, and then they were clearing it. So again, demolition, you can see how it is done here. So concrete sawing. So if you want to cut the concrete, program it so that this robot will come and cut it and come. Then the demolition, then water-based concrete demolition and recycling. There are so many equipments available here, which you can see. There are so many companies which are making it here, right? So this is also another sawing. You can see the device in the front. Then prefabricated robots manufacture prefab parts of the building. So you can see here. A robot handles a long and heavy part at a press brake. So here, robots are doing it here. Then you can see here, fabricating a large plate with the robots, with the robots. So this is also done like this. So again, somebody is who, if you make yourself competent, you can enter into that company. They prefer, instead of a robotic man, a civil engineer or a steel engineer with the knowledge of robotics. So again, you can see the recycling in the demolished building. Now you can watch in this picture, in the demolished building, how to segregate different materials. So it is automatically done by the robot. And here you can see the garbage is being sorted out. It scans and then it identifies and then sort out the waste and putting it, separating it accordingly. So again, for recycling also. Now when people go, they get into sickness. So now we have to go for robots. Earlier, we were thinking of making it, but we were not progressing much. Now, it is a definite need. Now the situation is sickness. So again, go for definitely for robotic sorting of garbage. Other applications. I can go on presenting a lot, but you can see here the other applications. Concrete transportation and distribution. Okay, with the help of robots. Positioning of steel. So bar benders are not required. Positioning of steel. Then again, fire resisting, right? Then Painting can be done with the robots. Plastering can be done with the robots. I think you would have watched some of the videos in the YouTube. Then excavation, earth moving, everything with very 1 or 2 in the site, and then automatically doing it, tunneling. So these are some of the opportunities and some of the applications using robots. Okay. Now I want to make little more interesting here, because I want you to understand where we were and where we need to move. This is quite, I believe that it is interesting. So looking at the learners of the past days, I took some snapshots from, before 10 years. I was a principal in one of the college. So there, I had conducted some program, and this is how the students were sitting. They are all civil engineers. So the way how they were, when we, for some program, we wanted audience. So we made them to attend. So they were not knowing what is happening. So the one of the topper, okay, I was shown that topper, and innocently showing the innocent face, she is sitting. Then you can see here another top student, a boy. Then he also says, I too are innocent. And you can see, even in the midst of this, I enjoy everything, including sleeping. In the class also, but morning 9:30 itself, people sleep now. Those days when we took class, 9 o'clock is the best hour to take class. So when Rosie was a student, the best time to handle class is 9 to 11. Now, best time to handle class is 11 o'clock. Because morning 9:30, night 3 o'clock, up to 3 o'clock, they are all working very hard. And at 3 o'clock they sleep, and then the remaining sleep will be continued in the class because of attendance. So that is the problem we have. So 11 o'clock only they wake up. After the tea break, they will wake up, and the 11 o'clock is preferred by every faculty because they will listen only then. So 9:30, you can see at least 30% of the students sleeping. 70% of the student, another 20 to 30% will be in dreams, thinking something else. Only 30% of the class will be there alive. So here, this is also, we have seen this even during this online courses, which is happening now in our, for our students. One student happened to, he joined the class, but he was in the bed. But unfortunately, he switched on the video without his knowledge. So he was in the bed sitting, and then kept that mobile on his table with a stand. And then it was focusing the bed, and he was lying down, and suddenly he found that he is there in that one, and then he ran and he switched off the video. Okay, he stopped the video. So that is what we have seen. It is a lot of interesting things we will see. That's why people are always, they put the video off, claiming that MB goes. So we do not know what they do in their home. Okay, but we need to keep them alive by asking questions. Okay, method of learning. Okay, again, this is also another interesting thing. You can see here, joyful learning is there, and then fearful learning. So earlier, most of the learning technology was fearful teaching. In the sense, the students used to be terrorized, or they used to be actually given a pressure. So we made them to undergo fearful learning. Of course, that worked well those days. But again, there is another one thing is there. Because of the compulsion, there is if you really look at the student, tearful learning, that is also was there then. But now the 5G, we have to really think in the other way. What is joyful learning? So it's very difficult. It's very challenging. It's not easy. But I was thinking about it for the last maybe 7 years, how to make them enjoy class. So every class must be a program. I don't think that it's my burden. Every class I want to see that they enjoy. How make it's not making a comedy there, but how to make it that itself. That process I used to think about 20 minutes, and then organize myself and go to the class. And here again, the mystery goes like this. You can see here, joyful teaching. Somebody can enjoy teaching in the midst of all, not only blackboard. And somebody, you can see fearful teaching. Some new teachers probably the experience of you standing in the class. Then somebody is having only tearful teachers. Somebody, they used to worry why I came to teaching profession. So these are all there. But now I wish that everyone become a joyful teacher. In the even blackboard teachers to become coming into Google Classroom teachers. Right. So here, I think this was talked about much. Traditional classroom, we used to, you just give the assignment, teach them, making the students sit here. Now here in flipped classroom, we used to upload the video in advance or upload the lecture in advance, and we have to make them learn and then come for a discussion in the class. That's what is happening now. So what we do, we make video lectures, we upload it in Google Classroom, and we make the students, and then we have a live class, live Zoom class or live Google class for having a discussion, and followed by a quiz. So that is what we are doing. So every class now, almost at least one quiz is automatically, given. So students need to listen. From the lesson what is being taught on that particular hour, they will be asking quizzes. Asking more quizzes is one of the important process of learning. So making the students to attend quizzes, or the students, trying working out quizzes, that will be one of the best method for getting a wonderful opportunity in your career. Now this is online teaching, what you see here. Okay, online teaching. I'll just talk something about online teaching. This is online learning, and you can see how the G is transformed. So it was 1G in 1981, 2G in 92, and 3G in 2004, and 4G in 2011, and you can see 5G in 2020, and they are talking about 6G also. Now this is how the transformation happens. When the transformation happens like this, the engineers also need to get transformed like this. The teachers also need to get transformed like this. So here you can see here, the transformation is inevitable. We cannot avoid. We need to accept it. Okay, 5G. You can see how the students would like to learn in 5G. Everybody is looking at the mobile. So I was a very strict teacher and ensured that students never get into any diversion. But now I need to make them do diversion. So what I do here, I make 25 questions, 6 sets of 25 questions, and then distribute in the class. Each one will have a different question. So you cannot identify which question is similar. So what they need to do, so they need to refer Google. They have to go through Google and find the answer and write the correct answer. So 25 questions. I have seen one thing, that all the students, even the last student in the class who never listened, he was very serious in attending the class. He was doing it. So I told them, bring the mobile, and you have to use the mobile and then do it. So this is the way how I thought I should move. So it's working effectively. The students are learning something, though some try to make misuse, but in total it is better. Okay, advantages of online learning. Hello? Yes?
No issues, sir. We have muted them.
Okay. I'll finish it and then they can ask questions, right? So I want to make it interesting because I was talking seriously about the subject. I want to make something and then proceed with the subject again. Then you can learn advantages of online learning. You can learn whatever you want. You can go to NPTEL, nobody restricts. You can go to MOOC courses, Coursera courses. So there is totally, you are free to learn anything. Then self-paced learning. So you can set your pace according to your ability, but it has to be consistent. Then the problem is networking opportunities. Now in this, probably even in this, you see many students from other colleges joining. So there is a possibility of identifying some people. So networking opportunities. Then access to expertise. So here there are some people who are experts. Earlier, bringing them to the campus was a difficult thing, but making them to speak and listening to them is very easy. So these are advantages of online learning, but there are disadvantages. We find in the present scenario, the quality of learning is not okay. It is not sufficient. So quality, because it's a transition, it's a transformation. Then little or no face-to-face interaction. We are unable to see them, and face-to-face interaction is a problem. Then, but you can see more work. Now, presently, faculty need to do more work, as well as students. Students have to study by themselves most. They have to listen, but they may not be able to concentrate much in the present transition situation. Probably it will change. For many of them, they expressed that we are unable to concentrate. That is a challenge they have. We do not know whether you are listening to us or not. We are talking to some wall. So again, that is a new experience to us. So we have to work more hard to make it interesting. Then intense requirement of self-discipline. It is self-discipline that matters. If you are not self-disciplined, we cannot discipline you. So again, this is a challenge for the teachers as well as the learners. You may lose because of this. I just show some of the interesting slides here. Now this is the way you can see at home what is happening, right? I know one of my faculty here, her daughter is studying in our own school, and daughter just open the online class and then go and take breakfast. After that only she goes and take breakfast. So this is some of the interesting thing you can watch here. And you can see the problem what is likely to happen is that the eye hospital will be thickly populated. So we will all, most of us will need to go to, because even otherwise you have to go, because all the time we are on mobile, the power increases, and then our specs thickness also increases, and the laser surgery increases. So automatically they are the people who are going to be blessed because of what is happening now. So eye is the problem, right? Then the other problem you can see here, this is the problem. So sitting all through and learning, apart from learning, you have to sit and work also. So this is the problem. So you can see here, these are the effects. And then they also, studies show that people are getting cancer and heart disease, diabetes, all these things because of this practice. Well, earlier, much earlier, you are expected to have the diabetes in the age of 60 means probably you may have it in 45 or so. So these are all the problems likely to happen. Now we must know how to live, how to avoid this problem to the maximum possible way. Okay, now I move to digital image processing in civil engineering. Application of digital image processing in civil engineering. Here you must understand autonomous scanning platforms. So this is the area which we are working now. Autonomous, it's a scanning platform. So up to 1990, we had a good number of bugs. With I think we can see even up to 2010, good number of bugs were done in this autonomous automatic platform with the help of robots. But now much research is being done, and companies are doing research in making it better. So you can see here, to perform navigation, 3D acquisition and 3D data processing without any initial knowledge of the scene and without human interaction. So here, this is what, you can see some of the pictures of the, the devices. So you see a camera, a scanner, and then embedded PC. This is the old type what I am showing here, a rack and a mobile platform, a moving platform. It's not a mobile phone, it's a moving platform. So this moves around the building and scan the building and take the data and then integrate and transfer the data, to the PC. So here again, another device also you can see, it is called PR2. Then IRMA 3D. Again, this is another improved version, which is also a moving robo. Similarly, you can see PR2. And then, this is another thing which I hope you are all familiar, drone, unmanned aerated, aerial vehicle, UAV platform. Again, this is also effectively now being used. And then this is what I'm going to talk about, where we are doing our research now. We started our research here. Development of an acquisition and processing system for building quantity estimation using digital image processing. So this is the area we are working. Actually, we have done 2 projects so far. What we have done, where the idea came, again, it is from one of the alumni who is constructing all over the world. He is having construction in Russia, one of our alumni, that is a 5th batch student. He is having construction in Russia, construction in Nigeria, huge hospital. He is doing a big hospital in Nigeria, and he is constructing a building in Mumbai. And then he came to me one day here, because they came for 20th year get together. They came for 20th year get together. So at that time, he just casually met me and talked to me about the technology. Sir, he is having 100 projects at a time, 100 civil engineering projects at a time. And I went to his office also in Ajman, Sharjah, and he has shown me all these things. And he was telling me one thing, sir, I will fund a particular project if your students and faculty are involved, interested in doing it. He told, sorry, standing before a building, you have to scan the building. Once you scan the building, automatically I must know in my mobile whether the work has happened according to the project management schedule. Whether the work has happened, the concreting they have done, or the plastering they have done, or the whitewashing, whatever work, they have to scan, and I must know how much quantity of work has happened, and deficiency report has to be automatically generated. So it has to be worked with the BIM, building information modeling. So it has to be done like this, sir. Are you willing to take up? So he told one thing, that you start some pioneering projects, small mini projects, pilot projects, and then probably we will help you in getting the equipment. So what you see here is the Faro 3D scanner. Faro 3D scanner. There are three types of machines here. One is portable. Another one is placed on sand, and it rotates 360 degree. It measures in 360 degree. So when you place this, it gives you the dimension. The first challenge what is given to us is, the first challenge what is given to us is measuring the quantity measure. So we made a project. No, I'll just show you. We made a project. We made a brickwork, and we wanted to scan it and find out how many bricks are there inside. So the first pilot project, it started like this with the help of a camera. First, we tried with the DSLR camera, because we discussed with our ECE department faculty and then instrumentation department faculty. And one of the instrumentation department students have joined us, and we both worked, our students as well as their students, they worked, and they both of them learned MATLAB. So civil engineers think normally they don't seriously learn MATLAB in the earlier time, but now they are learning. So they learned MATLAB, and by taking the photographs, the first pilot work what we have done is they have taken a photograph, and then they have written a MATLAB program. What you see here is the MATLAB program. Now you can see here, which will say automatically how many. This is the first stage of our research. 66 bricks are there, full bricks, half bricks 83, quarter brick 20, and automatically you can see here how many bricks are there. So you can also see, the mortar quantity, the amount of mortar from this picture, how much mortar is there. So it is found, because we know the thickness. The thickness of the building is, already given that, provision here. Then the amount of mortar, 0.053 cubic meter. So that is what this is done by. This is written by civil engineers. This program is written by civil engineers, and they found this model. This is the first project which we have done, and using this scanning, using this scan. Now we have done with the DSLR camera. Now we are integrating with the laser scanner. So laser scanners are available for rent. That's what we have found from some agency, and we are going to hire it. Actually, we should have completed by March, but students had to leave, and our work is in pending. So what we are now doing is marker. So when you scan, it will say what is the. It will say what, based on the color, it will identify what is the mix of mortar M50. It is 1:5 or 1:6. Again, a lot of improvements need to be done, but we are doing the beginning projects. Starting level. So again, level of RO, probably you can see their products, and there are videos. You can see that you will understand what is required for the future. So future civil engineer with the knowledge of digital image processing. We have done also a project. One of my PhD student have done a project on image process. It's an image recognition vehicle on a traffic in a signal, a device we wanted to make, which will control the time of. It will vary the time of the that green light, that the signals based on the volume of the traffic. So the system will measure the automatically the volume of the traffic, and accordingly it will decide. But there are some difficulties in it, but we have done the first one. We are successful. So now the camera, this is also fixed along with the that the signals where the police are controlling. Then automatically Suppose if there is no vehicle in one area, it will not vehicles are there. Again, based on the volume. So here again, recognition of vehicle and volume of vehicle, orientation of vehicle, all these things are done by civil engineers. You understand? So probably I think you should not say we should not say that we have to depend on somebody else. So this is being done. Probably I think you also have some similar problems. But now what I'm trying to say is that is the way of life. If you are only a ordinary building contractor, now you can see that mechanical engineers will do the job. One of the mechanical engineering student of Carnia is doing a wonderful civil engineering job in other country in Malaysia. See, he's doing it nicely, right? So this is about ferro equipment. Now this is what we see here in close ferro focus 3D terrestrial laser scanner. Earlier they were using only the laser technology. Now they have fixed camera also. The latest version, they have put the camera also, which will take the snaps and which is very much required for us. So that is what we were waiting, how to integrate, because we want to identify color recognition and interpretation of the data. So what are the opportunities? So for the 5G, what are the opportunities? Now you can see, I was telling about, once you know a thorough knowledge of total station, even at the end of 4th year, you can have your own company of surveying. You can have your own company of surveying. Then technology-driven construction with less manpower. Now manpower is going to be a biggest challenge. So here we need to definitely go for technology-driven construction. So everyone, no, it's not only listening, it is implementing. It's no more listening. Okay, we know all, we listen all and then forget all. It is not the way of life. We need to do something at least little bit first. When you do little bit first, it will become a big thing later. But starting and doing, attempting little bit instead of doing a conventional design project. Normally I don't recommend now conventional design project. Same building design. You must be a good designer. There is no need. Software is doing it. There is no much need. Even if you do, the people are, they are only going to check whether you know or not. That is based on your subject knowledge in the class. Not again. But if you do some project differently, people are interested in listening to you now. Even the interview board is interested in listening to you, and people are willing to know what you have additionally. Okay, then again, expertise in software for analysis and design. This is very much required. Any company, they are asking only software. What is the knowledge you have in software? If you don't take certificate and go. If you say I have a certificate in this one, when I was a principal, a group of we conducted an interview for civil engineers. Then he told in his biodata I saw answers and all. He told me answers. I learned answers. Then immediately I opened my laptop and I gave him a problem. Make a modeling. Make a small problem here. Do a problem. Then he said, "I'm sorry, sir. I learned only the theory. I have not done anything." So this is then automatically we could not select. So here when you say you have to do it, it's not a certificate you show, you have to prove it. So that is the expertise. That's why I mentioned here expertise in software for analysis and design, including the faculty members. As faculty members, we need to know it. We need to know. We have to be thorough. We have to be industry ready. Even faculty members need to be industry ready. Then only we can make the students ready for industry. So young people have to really take it up. Then quantity surveying and quantity surveyor and estimator. Now, if you watch other country, quantity surveyor, what we are learning is only one unit, one subject. But what is recommended is you have to learn 2 subjects. They are asking us to give 2 subjects. The field engineers, they are asking us to, sir, that's a type of job BTech students are going to do. They will do quantity surveying and estimation. So that is what the job we are giving. Either drafting, planning, drawing plans, or working as a site engineer. The next one is only quantity surveying. So quantity surveying in depth, nobody is able to know. So here, apart from knowing estimation, and you must know the software also. Then expertise in non-destructive testing. If you are good in doing non-destructive testing, the old one is ultrasonic testing. Presently, you have rebar locator, then corrosion analyzer. You have job from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. So you have opportunities. Again, some of the, I think in another college, I know a group of students joined together and they started a non-destructive testing, a small testing laboratory company, and they took a license and all. Now they are doing wonderful job. They are even going to Andaman. Nicobar lands, and then they are doing the testing there. And I happened to talk to them, but they told one condition, sir, if we have to test something in Mumbai, some structure in Mumbai, will your faculty come overnight or in one day or another 2 days? If you are willing, we will make an MOU and you can help us. But we want you to take the equipment, the rebar locator, and come there and do the test, because they have few equipments. But when the jobs are more, then they are asking us to do it. So we will guide you, sir, but you have to come like this. If you take 1 week, we cannot go ahead because the world is fast. We cannot afford to wait. So people are very serious about getting the things done next moment. They cannot wait, so we cannot wait. If you are interested, you can join. So this is again a challenge to us. Then next one is interdisciplinary civil engineering based job. I tell you again, many of you know that many of the civil engineers are software engineers. In some time back, maybe 10 years before, I know that many students from civil engineering, mechanical engineering, even now some are going, but many were having employment only in software companies, Infosys. One of my student is a topper in Infosys doing software. She's nothing to do with civil engineering now, but she is doing Infosys, right? She's in Infosys, right? So again, Accenture people are there. People are working like anything. Interdisciplinary of civil engineering based job. At one point of time, the company takes up some projects related to civil engineering. They immediately approach these people. You are a basically civil engineer. Now, can you join this project? So some of the jobs come from civil engineering based. So they immediately they are being utilized. So interdisciplinary knowledge is very much required. So that's why I told robotics, the knowledge of robotics, even digital image processing. I have also learned digital image processing little bit. I'm learning it a little more. I mean, further knowledge is very much required. Understand how I can apply. That's why I told robotics. Once I know knowledge, I can help my students. I can make them work, right? Then remote building progress monitoring. This is what I told. The scanning technology, what we are doing is remote building progress monitoring. So what that alumni told, sir, I have also learned digital image processing a little bit. I'm learning in Russia, in the project in Russia. I must see it. Video, of course, I can see, but I know the progress. Mathematically, I must know what is the status, deficiency report, or whatever perfection. Everything I must know from my mobile. I have to give commands from my mobile. That's what I want. So that is the type of technology what is desired. Then expertise in structural optimization. And this is probably, I think you are very familiar. So we need to know economy long span or tall building with the optimization. Okay. So the next one is expertise in building information modeling. So everywhere now they are asking BIM. Do you know BIM? Or what are the applications of BIM? So this is what is being asked, and I wish that you also learn it. Outside courses. What are the courses outside course or outside subject knowledge required? I just mentioned here robotics and automation, digital image processing, and multimedia technology. And if you go for environmental engineering, chemistry, even concrete also, but chemistry is required. Then the next one is mobile app developing. I think our people are very good, and even any engineer is good in making it. But this is what is required. So these are some of the courses which we have to go beyond your curriculum and learn it. So I think I would like to conclude here. So what I wish to say that looking at the environment, looking at the situation prevailing, I always tell my students one thing: keep going, right? And then keep doing, try winning, and always go extra mile with a smile. So this is which is very much required for us. Keep going, even there is a failure, even if you go through some difficulties or situation which is very horrible. We need to keep moving. And what you have been doing, keep doing, and then try winning. Even if you lose, don't stop trying winning. So try winning and take extra smile, learning the thing what you require to learn further. Okay, go extra mile with a smile. Thank you.
Sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have done it.
Yeah, you've just filled our minds, sir, with innovative and informative things. I would like to wait for the participants to share their questions. We'll have a
Yeah, yeah, please.
short question answer session, and then we'll conclude, sir.
Yes.
You can unmute and ask questions if you have any, or you can type it in the chat box. Sir, one
So
part.
very-
Will you explain GFRG?
Pardon, sir?
Will you explain GFRG?
What is
I
it?
didn't.
Can you just show the question? Can you just show the question? Just open the chat box and just show the question to sir.
Yeah.
Madhav Permal, can you just scroll to show the question? Who has asked that question? May I know the name?
Yeah, I'm just opening it now.
Yes, sir. May I know the name of the person who has raised that question?
Ma'am, Shanmuga Surya.
Okay, listen. Sir, she's asking for, will you explain GFRG? GFRG.
Yeah, in which area? I think I didn't.
Shanmuga
Did I-
Surya, you can unmute yourself and you can voice out your question. Shanmuga Surya, you can voice out your question. It's better. You may get a perfect answer you desire. Can you unmute? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The class member reinforced to get some.
Yeah. It's a panel. How? I hope I got it right.
That's also machine that's used.
Yeah. That's a type of building. That's a type of building what you talked about. But what I'm now telling is the type of construction what you have to do. See, what you are telling is GFRG panel house, right? GFRG panel house. But that is a type of structure. That is a type of structure. But how you are going to make it? What is the technology? I'm telling you, you see, material, how you construct only I'm talking about. So I just told about the robotic construction. Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm in the chat box. One more question. What are the structural optimization techniques for truss?
For truss.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Interestingly, probably I think you can discuss with the person who asked. Probably you can discuss with me. We are doing a lot of things on optimization. Okay, optimization software. Apart from software, I can also help you using Excel. You can do that. See here, the software sometimes cannot put the combination of sections. Combination of sections will be a critical one. But when you really do it, the manual thing I integrated with the Excel work. But by changing the different sections, particularly if you, when you go for a column, you can go for an I section, right? When you can go for 2 channel section with the lacing or buttons. You can also go for the 4 L angles. Same thing with the 4 L angles with the lacing or buttons. And even the lacing and buttons can be used with the help of steel rods. Probably I don't know how many of you have tried that one. The steel rods also will be it will really take the load what required to be done. So here ultimately when you find the weight of the structure, so what I do for my steel structures 3rd-year students, they do this. Everyone will do a project. Every 4 students will do a project. So I give it, and now I have a Zoom meeting with the students to discuss about the projects. So they understand now first concept. By changing the section, what will happen to the cost? So the Excel is made in such a way that automatically the cost and the fabrication cost also will be included there. So how much cost for the labor? How many days will take the fabrication work will take? So these things we are doing it. So optimization software using in this way, I find that it has to be much more developed. So here we have done some module, and our students have some of them they have started writing in a program also using C. In some of the challenges which we could not do in Excel, they have done using C++, and then they gave me algorithm and which we have implemented in Excel, and then we got it. So optimization is one of the in steel, particularly in steel, we need to understand the concept better. It's only the combination of sections. I hope you know about Dr. L.S. Jayagopal, the one who designed the Codicia building in Coimbatore, which is a famous building in Coimbatore.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably Codicia building you may know, which is a long span building. Actually, similarly, Isa Yoga Maya, he has constructed a building, for a span of 240 meters. So in that Codicia building, 180 meter, very economical section. He's my professor and my project guide and PhD guide, and he has done it. Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
5G civil engineering is cost effective.
How 5G civil engineering is cost effective?
Yeah. See, one thing, when 2G is going to be ineffective, you need to understand that it is going to be definitely cost effective. See, 2G is going to be now you can see in Tamil Nadu itself, all the laborers ran away. Now, one of the companies, they told 650 laborers have gone. Karunya first batch, I don't know whether Power Builders, you heard about Power Builders in Chennai, and then there were 650 people, they left. Now, that managing director is talking through our Zoom interaction, alumni interaction. Now we need to go for this. We need to go for robotic way of construction. So he is talking because now human power is a problem now. So again, coming back, people are afraid. Of course, survival they may come, but still the flow will decrease now. The flow will decrease. So it's a cost effective. Presently, it is not cost effective. Definitely not cost effective. But when everybody is going to use such a technology, it will automatically become cost effective. And particularly, prefabricated is cost effective. Prefabricated structure is cost effective because entire thing is done in the factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, we were showing the different machineries for different applications, sir. Most of it seem to be imported to India, foreign products. Is any of the machineries Indian made? Because I assume that it will be more costlier.
No. Actually, India people are machines are costly, equipments are costly. So what I am suggesting, what I am telling our people, okay. I think it's a good question. I am the director of quality assurance and accreditation. So I have to talk to the entire university in terms of quality.
Yes.
When you say that it is costly, why don't you try to make a cheaper one in India? See, one thing I tell you, the damper, what we have done, I think we want to keep it a trade secret for some more time till the patent is approved. I will just tell overall, the damper, the smart magnetorheological damper, what we are making, the cost is going to be only 10,000. Presently, the same thing is around 2.5 lakhs. Okay, 2.5 lakhs. So we are making it at 10,000 because of the liquid. That device is costly only because of the liquid. That liquid per liter is 1.8 lakhs. Okay, so now 10,000 when we are releasing it with the leach liquor, they call it as a leach liquor. We are making this, our chemistry department is doing this work. Chemistry and nano department is doing it with the leach liquor, the waste liquor, how to make a damper liquid. So again, this is an innovation. We need not depend on the world. Now we have to do it.
Okay.
So make do an equipment. You just see their equipment and how best we can make in our laboratory. Start doing that. Yeah.
Okay. There's another question by Mohammed Rafiq, sir.
Yeah.
Whether remote sensing monitoring of building construction quality is possible in future?
Definitely it is possible. That's why work. I think people who are willing to work also, you can do it now. You can start. I'm not I will not say I will not object because I am doing it. So we are doing it. We want everyone. Wherever I go, I tell them because whatever I know, I must teach everybody.
Yes.
So that is the nature of our teacher. Actually, you have to do it because there is no other way. Even the drone, when it moves around, now if you really watch the people, what they have done, this Faro company, they are now making it with the drone. So when the drone moves around, it will even survey map it will give. Yeah, that's how they are moving.
All right.
So remote only is possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Is possible.
The another participant named TJ Vijay has asked this question. What about the economy of using automation in construction? That is cost effectiveness. Hope we discussed it recently.
Yeah, definitely. Now that is what I am asking you to do. That
Yes,
is
sir.
that is the challenge which I am giving to the young budding engineers. So you have to make it and prove it.
Okay, so there's another
Make in
question.
India. Make in India. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
We surely work on it, sir. So there's
Yeah.
another question by Miss Divya. Yes, she's asking that how can you can you tell what mode of syllabus formation can be provided for learning automation and robotics in civil engineering?
Yes. Do you have free elective?
Yes, sir. Open elective, professional elective, sir. So open elective.
Open elective.
Open
Let
elective.
the students make the students to take it.
Yes, sir. That's a good
We
one.
I am telling my students to take it. They should not take any civil engineering based one. Or see one thing, if they want to go for a job in computer science, Java, I tell the civil students to learn Java.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then otherwise I tell them to learn robotics. Now I am asking them to learn robotics only. Robotics only.
Great, sir.
And
Great,
syllabus
sir.
also, each syllabus, if civil engineering syllabus, I think you are autonomous.
Yes, sir. We are an autonomous institution, sir.
Then there is no problem. 20% of the syllabus, you have to keep 80% for the Anna University recognition, right? For 20% of the syllabus, make it every subject bring robotics or some other thing, new technology.
Okay, sir. We'll do it, sir. Surely we'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. And software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Divya, if you want, you can voice out, Divya. I don't know which college you're working in. If you want, you can voice out your question if you want much more details. She has asked some more questions, sir.
Yeah, I saw. I'm seeing.
Divya, can you voice out? Are you there? Yeah. Okay, sir. Then I'll read it for her. Suggest your ideas in the exact scenario that we adopt for students to practice practically. We adopt our students to practice practically. So, as you said, she's asking how to bring them to tune the students to practical sessions.
Yeah, one thing what I have to do, we have to make them work. In the sense, I have a different technology, probably Rosie may be knowing, Dr. Rosie may be knowing. What I do, I work actually for my PhD student who was very slow. One lady was very slow because she was in a very company working busy. I made 74 slides for her and sent it in one night. I sent it by 3 o'clock because I was working here and then made she has to make literature surveys, literature exam, comprehensive literature survey, right? So at that time I made 74 slides and sent. She felt very embarrassed and said, "I'm very, very sorry, sir, for delaying. You worked for me. Now she is working like anything." It's a matter of one night I changed the entire history. Yes. She was just taking 1 year to do it. One night I just sat, worked up to 3 o'clock, made 74 slides. That's it. Now I'm making them to work. Now she is afraid whether I will do for her. So feeling, making them to be embarrassed, and then automatically it is done. So we have to work first. I always, we need to work.
I understand, sir. Good answer,
if you dictate only students, they will not be, much inspired. When you do something, then they will do better things because they are capable. They are fast learners.
Well
so
said,
only,
sir.
Yeah.
So one more question, sir. Just a moment. And one more question by same ma'am. Tell some project ideas in relation to automation and robotics in solving the real-time problems in current construction industry. Yeah,
definitely, ma'am. Because again, precast, making a precast. Probably, I think I prefer that you should have more interaction with the industries, because whatever thing it is given to us and whatever we do, we are trying to do here. Again, this scanning? What I told about scanning. So again, scanning, that segregation of the waste. So so these are all the areas which I have covered. But now further, probably you can interact with the nearby company and then find the problem. See, okay, first we need to understand what is the problem from industries. So then you make a strategy which is convenient to you. According to your convenience, you can make a project and do it, because some of the facilities may not be available in our institution.
Yes.
So here there are limitations. That's why even the laser scanning, it is 49 lakhs. That device is 45 lakhs. But I got one day, once they put rental. When they announced rental scheme, I woke up. I don't want to wait for opportunity. Now, probably when it works well, I may get a project and get buy that equipment. Funded project, we are again, we have returned to TSDP for funded project. Once we get it, we will run very fast.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So another question by Mr. Samruth Prabhakaran. How will the automation affect the industry and economy as a whole? Because large amount of people are still dependent on construction work. Will
That
it
is
have
fine.
a positive effect in the big picture?
That is fine. Now people have to go alternate. See, suppose some of the engineering teachers, what will happen? Some of the engineering conventional engineering is coming down. Either you have to find out a different, for example, civil engineering. Some years 200, 180, 120. Now it is coming to 60, right? Why it is 60? We are not innovative. I believe we are not innovative. We have not done anything for the real life problem. That's why it is coming down. So conventional practice is not going to help us. So now people have to find alternate. So what can be done? Of course, this is a challenge. It is a transition. That's why it is. I said it is a transition, and here we need to go. Even civil engineering teachers must teach robotics in the class. I don't say that robotic teachers would come. So when you go for a different technology, I'm just telling robotics, but there are so many areas. So you must teach chemistry. You should teach physics. You should not ask physics teacher to teach. What will happen to physics teacher? But when you teach physics, you will teach better because you know what is required for civil engineering. When you teach chemistry, you know better. But learning chemistry, if you avoid, they will teach MSc chemistry only. They will teach MSc physics only. That is good for nothing. So we have to learn chemistry, we have to learn physics, we have to learn mathematics, and then teach the students. So that is a very difficult process. So maths people will get offended when they hear about it. But this is how it is going to be. So if you look at everybody's livelihood, then your livelihood will be a problem because this is the 5G generation. As I said, this is 5G.
So one more question, sir. Java is now in the field, but on a future perception, Python is a very much growing language. Can learning that be helpful?
Absolutely correct. I made my son, who is doing his MS wireless communication. He told one thing: he never wanted to join civil engineering because I am here, right? He never wanted my supervision, so he went to EC department. Now he is in wireless communication, and he is very good in Python. So he learned on his own, and he is teaching teachers now. He is teaching. He is doing in PSD Tech, and he is teaching. One of the faculty is learning from him. So now he is being referred. He is very busy now. This lockdown period, he is totally locked down with so many activities. He is unable to even spend time with us.
Yes,
that is the thing.
When compared with other languages, Python seems to be so user friendly, sir. That even I'm trying. I'm learning it.
You have to. Every civil engineer must learn. Any other engineer also must learn.
Yes, sir. So the last question for you, sir. Where can we practice non-destructive testing in practice? I mean, in which company? I think they asked in that sense.
Okay. See, do you have equipment? First time in the institution, if you have equipment, right, and then you better approach the company, the metro services. If you see waterproofing company or services company, maintenance company, the construction company is there, but if you approach maintenance company, they only need much help. So in Coimbatore, engineering metro services, there is a company called Engineering Metro Services, and when they tell us, sir, we want you to come to Cochin, Calicut, and do this experiment and do it. It's a share. Whatever consultancy they have, 50-50. So something like that. They bring so when you are willing to do it, they make it happen.
Thanks, sir. So I think that's all about it, sir. So my sincere request to you, sir. Why don't you conduct a national workshop, sir, so that faculty will be benefited attending and seeing the experimentation on live, sir. It's my kind request, sir. I will send my people at table. I will join, sir.
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, I moved to IQAC. From that time, civil engineering work is affected. Now my civil engineering time is not there because I'm working for the university.
Please
I'll try. I'll try.
Surely, sir, we will come and learn, sir. It's better because browsing and Googling will not be much effective in
See, it has to be
live demo.
It has to be followed by action.
Yes, sir. So as a gentle, I mean, it's a very, very humble request, sir. We'll look forward, sir.
Yeah, sure. I will tell my people to organize and I will support them behind. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So we have come to the end of the session. So thank you, note, sir. All
And
good
there is
things-
one question here. Deen Su,
Yes, sir.
what about the quality of building built by automation technique? If it worth than the building built by laborers, 100% sure it is good quality. Once you use the right choice of the automation. So even drilling, I have seen drilling perfectly done. If you say this is the depth it has to go, it will automatically scan and tell what is the depth it can go. So that is the way, but human being cannot do.
Okay. So one more question, sir. Please tell the name of the buildings which you named when clarifying doubts. What are the structural optimization techniques for truss? Please tell me the name of the buildings which you named when clarifying doubts. I don't.
Yeah. That is the building. It is Codicia building. Codicia, Coimbatore, Codicia. And then Isa Yoga Maya in Mayam in Semedu, that Coimbatore, I think you may be knowing, Isa Yoga Maya. So there, a long span, 10,000 people can sit without column. A structure is done without any column. So with a very cost-effective structure. It is a arch structure. So the roofs were provided as arch in both the sides. Two planar structure. It is a two planar structure.
Awesome, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So as a thank you note, sir. All good
NLC
things
is there.
Okay, sir. All good things come to an end, and so our webinar too. So as an end note, I'm sure I am reflecting the mind of all the participants when I say a wholehearted awesome, sir. It was indeed a great privilege having you, sir, with us, and I'm sure most of us, and you have inspired all of us and put us in awe by your well-prepared and well-delivered lecture with appropriate presentation. I am extremely grateful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and presenting this trending topic in the most appealing and an interesting manner. I think it has run beyond 1 hour. And thank you for your support, sir. And thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us. We'll be glad to have you, your physical presence with us once we are out of this pandemic situation. And thank you very much and have a great day, sir. Thank you. I thank the participants for their patient listening also. You have inspired our students, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rosie.
Importance of programming, importance of interdisciplinary projects. And இப்போ நாங்க சொல்றதை விட நீங்க சொல்றது இன்னும் பெட்டரா இருக்கு சார். Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rosie, for giving the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you. Coordinators, if you wish to, now let me invite Mr. Muttayan for a formal thanking your note, sir. Please, Muttayan.
Okay, ma'am. Distinguished chief guest and all participants, it's my privilege to take opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on today's webinar session. On behalf of Radhalakshmi Engineering College Civil Department, I extend a very heartily thanks to our distinguished delegate of the today's section, Dr. D. Denzi, sir, for their acceptance and provide us sound knowledge in the what is the real-time applications of transformation required from 2G civil engineer to a 5G civil engineer. And also, I extend my thanks to all the participants throughout the India. I am grateful to thank to our management, chairman, chairperson, deans, principal, and our head of the department. And thank you for the approval of today's webinar session. Thank you all. And also, I thank my colleagues to support for the conduct